let's unpack this. Today, we're taking a deep dive into a really compelling mythological fantasy, The Immortals of Meluha. It's by Amish Tripathi, the first book in his Shiva trilogy. And our mission really is to explore how this story, well, it boldly reimagines an ancient legend, but it does it through this surprising historical lens. So picture this. You're stepping back to 1900 BCE, the land of Meluha. It's this empire, legendary, almost perfect, supposedly founded by Lord Ram himself.
Right, this ideal society.
It's got problems, big ones.
Exactly. Paradise isn't quite paradise anymore. The main river, the Saraswati, it's drying up. That's huge.
Life-giving river, yeah. And then there are threats.
Right, external threats. The fierce Chandravanshis, rivals, often seen as barbarian.
And the Nagas, this mysterious group, kind of like terrorists in the story who get blamed for a lot.
And into this whole situation arrives Shiva.
Wow.
He's a tribal leader from Tibet. And here's where it gets really interesting, I think. He drinks this special brew, Samras. It's meant to grant long life.
Immortality, or close to it. And after he drinks it, his throat turns blue.
The sign.
The sign, yeah. The long prophesied sign. He's the Nilkanth, the savior.
Just like that. Destiny calls. But what's so fascinating is how Shiva reacts. He's got the sign, he's the chosen one, but he immediately starts questioning things.
He doesn't just accept the good guys and bad guys label.
Not at all.
Yeah.
He's pushed into this role, yeah. But he starts to pick apart what good and evil actually mean in this context. It's not a story about, someone born divine. It's about a man. His choices, his actions, they make him the legend.
So it really digs into that gray area.
Exactly, that moral grayness, this huge tension, this pull between destiny, what's expected, and his own free will.
So, okay, he's the Nilkanth, but things aren't black and white for him. Like you mentioned the Nagas earlier, seen as these evil terrorists.
Initially, that's how he sees them too. Pure evil.
But that changes.
It does. As he actually confronts them, learns their side of the story, his whole view starts to shift. That black and white picture, it gets very blurry.
Is there like a specific moment or realization for him?
Oh, definitely. There's a key encounter where he meets the Naga leader, and he finds out their motives aren't just, malice. It's rooted in a tragic history, suffering, exile. They're trying to protect their own people.
Wow, okay.
And Shiva starts thinking, maybe Meluha's perfection. Maybe it's built on the suffering of others. It forces him to rethink everything.
Yeah.
Who are the real villains here? What does justice actually look like?
That really flips the script.
Yeah.
And you mentioned right at the start that surprising historical lens. How does that work? How does Tripathi weave history into this myth?
Well, he pulls in actual elements, or at least theories, from the Indus Valley civilization.
Really? Like what?
Things like the city planning you see in Meluha, the social structures, and crucially, that drying Saraswati River.
That's a real thing.
It's a real archaeological debate, yeah. That the river's disappearance. It's like Tripathi's asking, what if these ancient myths aren't just fantasy?
What if they're like distorted memories?
Exactly. Distorted memories or allegories of real historical events, maybe the fall of these great ancient civilizations. That mix of myth and historical questions, it's pretty unique. Makes it really compelling.
So it's more than just a hero's quest. It's got this historical mystery element too. And while he's figuring all this out, these big questions about good and evil, there's his personal story too, right? With Sati.
Absolutely. Sati, the Meluhan princess, she has her own tragic past, her own challenges within that society. Their relationship really grounds the story, shows the personal cost.
Right. And in a world that's so, well, morally complex, it makes you ask, what does it actually mean to be a leader?
Precisely. That blue throat, it's a symbol, yeah. A huge weight of expectation. But his real heroism isn't the sign. It comes from his decision to fight for what he believes is right, even if that means challenging Meluha itself, this perfect society he's supposed to save.
So he doesn't just follow the path laid out.
No, he chooses to shape it, redefine it through his actions. And if you look at the bigger picture, the Immortals of Meluha really emphasizes that. A leader's role in choosing, justice over just following tradition or old prejudices. It's this great blend, myth, philosophy, action, reminding us that heroes aren't always born. Sometimes they're made by their choices, often really hard choices.
Yeah, what strikes me is how this version of Shiva, it feels less about a distant god and more about, well, timeless leadership problems. Facing truths you don't want to face, questioning good and evil when it's messy, dealing with the fallout, it feels quite relevant, doesn't it?
It really does.
Makes you think about our own history, too. How many heroes were just, regular people in crazy situations, not divinely picked?
Exactly. It's a good reminder, I think. Heroism isn't just for myths. Sometimes it's just someone trying to do the right thing when it's tough. And maybe, like Shiva, questioning everything they thought they knew while they do it.
So wrapping up this deep dive into the Immortals of Meluha, you really get a feel for how Tripathi gives us this fast-paced, really accessible story, but one that genuinely makes you rethink these ancient legends and what being a hero even means.
Yeah, and maybe it leaves you with a question to think about. In our own world, with all its complexities and expectations, where do you personally draw that line? The line between a path maybe others expect for you and the real power of your own individual choices in actually shaping your destiny.